They,
That's nice.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that great?
yeah.
Great weather vane.
No, I thought maybe, while I was here, I thought everybody wanted to see them,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I've got one on order in green.
Yeah. Oh, so he does make
The
colors.
first one we saw was, I think, one that's sort of a brown. It was,
Weathered
the
color.
name is Biff Abel. Abel Weather Things.
Oh, he does have it. Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, and all.
Oh my, good catch. It'll be so fun to see the colors that it develops inside. Because that would determine
Oh,
what
that
color
would,
you want.
see, that's it. And the people that are in the green one, they have green shutters in the house.
There you go.
And they wanted to leave it inside, but if they decided to put it outside, they would want it to match the shutter.
So they just have it inside the house?
I know, they haven't got it yet.
Oh, they haven't got it.
It's already made, it's just a matter of them, there's some of it.
Morning, we.
Christmas, obviously.
Well, Sandor.
Well, I'm an import.
Well, we are.
I got married and moved 2 miles down the road.
That helps.
Or so we think.
Which is first part of the meeting? Which is first part of the meeting all about?
I took it home from.
Just a regular annual meeting. Going over.
Get their seat, and there is coffee all made if you want to get it before you sit down.
Good coffee, too.
So, we'll open the meeting, unfortunately on a bit of a sad note. Well, not a bit, it's quite a sad note. I was looking over the membership and seeing how many of our members passed away. And I was just talking to Stu Goodwin, and I said I should preface this by saying that if I have left anyone off the list, I apologize, but of course I don't think anyone would want to be on this list to begin with, so.
I'm close to it.
You're close to it, Walter. Let's hope not. So let's just take a moment of silence for those members, and I will list them. Sumner Babcock, who is a life member, recently passed, and Lorraine Charles, Mike Goodwin, Louise Harmon, and Merrill Dickerson. We could just have a moment of silence for them. Okay, thank you. Without further ado, I'll pass it to Jackie, the treasurer, and she'll give you a summary of the year and clue you in.
We had a very nice year this year, I think. We did a lot of nice things, and a lot of nice things happened to us.
The nominating committee, consisting of Carl Grassetti, Paul Noonan, and myself, are pleased to present the following slate. 4 officers. President, Michael Hughes. Stand up if you're here so everybody see you. Thank you. Vice President, Ann Lloyd. Ann not here. Treasurer, Jackie Mastro. You all know the treasurer. And thanks for your good report. Secretary, Lynn Braun. And for directors, I'm not reading the years. If anybody's curious to know about what terms these will be, we can fill that in. James Adams.
He's working.
Jane Earp. Marjorie Gibson. Margot Goodwin. And Nisula. Diane Oser.
She was here, but she had to leave. She has
Diane Rood. Priscilla Scudder. And George Sousa. Great. Are there further nominations from the floor? Are there any additional nominations? If not, we will accept your voice vote for this slate of officers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It carries unanimously. Congratulations all. But I'm not going to let this go by. The people who are retiring could sneak out very, very carefully, but I think we ought to recognize the people who are going off the board. Fran Parks going out as vice president, and as past curator. I don't know how long she's been at this, but we all know Fran has done a wonderful job. Laurel Brown has done wonders with the shop. Sue Lyons has been great with hospitality. Ellen Culver has suffered as secretary after I twisted her arm. Charlie Hamlin has been taking care of our building, is going to continue on with our addition, and especially we are going to miss Jess Grassetti, who has been our president for all these how many years, and I think has done a wonderful job. I think we ought to give a big round of applause for all of these. It's been a great board, and I think the society has been really in very good shape, and thanks to the work of all of these people and those who are continuing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I can't go out of here without giving you a special thank too. You're endless, tireless worker, and I appreciate everything you've done for the society. Our resident historian, Jim is, and will continue to be. We hope. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Good. Good.
This might be the occasion to tell you about a recent gift that I got from Paul Grover. You all know that the Lowell House is endangered for a while. Paul came up with a set of blueprints, the house of Mr. A. Lawrence Lowell at Cotuit, Massachusetts. This is the place. It happens not to be the original blueprints, but it is an addition. Guess who made it? Guy Lowell, architect, the famous architect. So this is more evidence. If they try to tear that down the next round, we'll bring out, at least there's an addition by Guy Lowell.
Okay. Well, we'll continue in our series of I Remember When, and when I asked Mr. Cobb to come today, I said that it used to be called the Old Timers Night. Well, we did it at night, but a few people got a little offended by the term Old Timers, so we renamed it I Remember When. And I asked Walter, because Walter lives in Santuit. When you look him up in the phone book, you see his address is Santuit. Not many people have the address Santuit. They all put Cotuit for an address. Walter's been a permanent fixture up there in Santuit for as long as I remember. And I thought we'd be interested to hear what Walter does up there on Main Street and get some of his reminiscences of Cotuit. Walter Cobb, if you'd come and sit up here, that would be great.
Well, I come down here, I was born in Middleborough, grew up in Wareham. I come down here in 1949 as a professional husband for Mrs. Bell, in the Bell Farm down here
On Putnam Avenue,
Putnam Avenue.
which is now Mary Barton Land Trust
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then I got married. I married Elsie Cadino. Oh, when I first come down, I was known as Bud Cobb. And then I married Elsie Cadino, and I was known as Elsie Cadino's husband. And then she died, unfortunately, and then everybody called me Walter. So I was back to high school again. Well, anyway, we built a house up in Santuit back in 1950. I had a daughter, 13 years old when her mother died. And but I worked different places, painter, one thing or another. But I went into a hobby, which is showing bantams. Now, probably a lot of you people don't know what a bantam is, but it's in miniature regular chicken. And some of these, then you go from that into showing them. And when you show them, now these are some that I've had.
I'll show the,
Now the white one, you can pass it around if you want.
okay?
Now in order to show these chickens, you have to be tested by the Massachusetts state, I'll tell you in a minute, Department of Agriculture. Otherwise you can't put them in a show. You can't transport them without one of these. Well, I have another card that goes with this. But you can't transport chickens without that card because of the cockfighting deal that is against the law to do that. So anybody transporting chickens has got to have a permit, so-called, to do this. Well, anyway, I passed everything. So these, and then if you want to show, now the ordinary chickens, everybody knows. I mean, you feed and water them, pick up the egg. But these show chickens, especially the white one there, it's got kind of, instead of feathers, it's got kind of a fur line. It's a fur. The only feathers on it is on the end of the wings and in the tail. So when you go to the show, you have to shampoo all these things. Now, I mean, this isn't a project for everybody to get into. Because you've been out there in the last week banging ice out of the water feeders, you know that it isn't all fun. So you're going to be indebted to it, you know. And I've been all over the place with them. I've been showing in Virginia and out in Connecticut and Ohio. Well, Ohio is a big national out there. 12,000 birds in one building. And out there, I shook hands with the Honorable. What the heck was his name? Oh, Colonel Sanders. He came in with a couple of bodyguards from the door, and I happened to be standing right there. Had his cane with the diamonds on it and everything, you know. So I said to two young guys, I said to him, "Is that Colonel Sanders?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "You want to shake hands with him?" I said, "Oh, yeah, sure." So I went over, shook hands, and never washed the hand for 2 weeks later, you know. So, that was quite an achievement. But since then, I've been into it now for almost 30 years. And now you're not going to see birds like this at the Barnstable Fair. Now at the Barnstable Fair, all people like me, we put in our second-rate birds because there's so much chance of getting just excuse me, diseases, people stealing them, somebody, you know, taking the eggs or something, and so. But when you go into birds like these, now that one right there is worth $100, and to find and one that's less as well as this one, it costs $25 to get breeders. Now all the birds, even though they're not as good as this one, they start at $25 a bird. In fact, they all do. This one, that's a Japanese silkie. This is a Houdan, a Mediterranean Houdan. This one here is a Millefleur d'Uncle from a French bird. And this one here is a white-crested black Polish. From Poland, actually.
Are these males or females? The
Well,
babies?
these. Well, that one there is a male. This one here, it's pretty hard to tell.
Well, that was one of my other.
This one here is a male, a female.
Do you get the eggs and hatch them from eggs, or do you get the chicks and develop?
No, if all these good ones, you hatch from yourself.
You hatch,
Yeah.
hatch yourself.
You can put them in incubator, but they come from, so you know where they come from, you know? Just like, when you go out and buy chickens to replace these, you look up and you find out who has been winning with this type of bird. And then you, buy from them. Now, if I'm boring anybody, tell me to shut up. So anyway, the better birds are up here in the northern part of the country because they have the feathers are stronger on the bird. Down south, they've got kind of a softer feather. So we go down there sometimes and we'll buy up a couple and bring them up here and breed them in to these here, because you have to keep new blood in them. And it's not a cheap thing, because I mean you show against doctors, you show against dentists, you show against lawyers, you show against everybody, you know, that's got money that I never heard of. And, but they're all nice people. They're all very, very enjoyable people. And, now this, one little more thing to go for. Now this here is what they call the poultry press. They tell you where all the shows are, gives you stories in there, something to do, you know, where to go. And then back in, people die, you know. Of course, I know a lot of them now that did. Where these people sell these birds. You've got a whole big, and all different kinds of birds. So, anyway, that's what ended up. But before that, I had ducks, had geese,
Goats.
I had goats. I had 16 goats at one time. Had 4 of them now.
In the house?
You know, yeah.
In the house.
I had 9 little ones, and one of the goats had 4.
That's unusual, isn't it?
It is very unusual. And so we used to take them. And then you had to feed them by hand, you know. My wife was feeding 9 little goats 3 times a day. And I mean, nights too, you know. I mean, it's not anything that you'd want to do for for pleasure unless you liked it. You know?
Now, why did you raise goats? Did you have milk?
Well, I had a big idea. I was going to make a big fortune selling goat's milk, you know.
Oh, okay.
Well, time you have to take them down the Cape to get them bred. Then you have to have the little ones, you know, that you didn't want, were males. You had to take them up to Bridgewater somewhere and have them dressed off.
Yeah.
That was another problem. And when you had goats that had to be bred, it had to be that day. It couldn't be tomorrow or next week. You had to go then. And we had to go down to Orleans, down Nauset, better. No. Yeah, down near Orleans. Abby Clark had a whole bunch of them there, and he got male goats. So that was a big deal. We had to go. My wife used to get crazy. You'd drive her nuts to have to go down. Well, we got to take the goat. Oh, I come home from work. Yeah, we got to take the goat. The goat out there wants to go. I said, well, you got to go. You know, and you're going around corner, the goat is running up against it.
You get the goat right in the back of the car?
Yeah. You are. Yeah, well, with it everywhere. So, then I got out of that.
Well, you know what? Did you try to sell milk?
Oh yeah.
And how did you do
I
that?
got more crazy people. You know, I think anybody drinks goat milk is they either got to be real sick or real wacky.
Goat milk has a very distinct flavor because what they
Not
eat.
Not mine. Now,
Not
let me tell you
yours?
something about that.
Oh, okay.
I've had that. I had. But you feed them alfalfa hay, and the real and the regular goat meat, you know, and keep the milk clean. strain it,
Yeah.
refrigerate and everything, and you couldn't tell the difference. Because I've tried it with people, you know. I don't like those. Yeah, think I drink of this. This should come from a cow. Think, how you like that? Oh, that's a lot better. Sure enough, come from the same goat. So anyway, then we had geese, we had ducks, rabbits. Oh, that was another thing. I went to rabbits. I had a bunch of them suckers. You know, the big ones with the floppy ears and all that, you know. Well, that was another one I had to take to have them slaughtered, you know.
Oh, yeah. We can't
So
do
every
that.
couple of months I had to take them to the New Bedford, to the slaughterhouse over there in New Bedford. And my wife had a fit of that because it was in the summertime. You come home, all these rabbits, you know, they smell like rabbits. And one time, you know, the guy used to say to me, "Ed, you want the feet and the heads of these rabbits?" And I said, "No, I don't know heads. There's no feet either." Sure enough, I brought one home one time. This one I went out of the rabbit business. My wife took it out of the bag. Oh, and here is the whole rabbit, head and all. Well, that was the end of that. No more, no more rabbit. Then I had a friend. I worked with a friend in the boat yard in Wacoit. He wanted a rabbit, you know, to eat. So I said, okay, I'll give you one. So I give him one, you know, and he says, I'll ask my mother if I can put it in the refrigerator, you know. So he put it in the refrigerator. And a couple of days later, she come down the boat yard. He said, Walter? I said, yeah, what's the matter? Did you get Paul a rabbit? I said, yeah. He said, he wants me to cook it for him. She says, how do you cook a rabbit? Me, you know, just like a cat. I said, you put it right in the oven, just like a cat, no problem. Ooh, boy, he told me, you know, my old lady come down, he said, get that thing out of my... So actually, it was a lot of fun in part of my life.
Did you have, did you sell eggs from the house, or did you deliver eggs to anybody ever? Did you have an egg business?
Yeah, let me tell you about that. That was another one that went down the drain. I think I had 30 hens at the time.
30 hens.
Yeah, and we was collecting the eggs, you know, selling eggs. We were going to make a fortune. Well, my God, I'm telling you, you couldn't sell them. Everybody, you know, didn't want them. They wanted fresh eggs. Store eggs. They wanted a big egg. It was either too big or the yolk was too dark, because I fed a lot of corn.
Oh.
And the yolk, if you feed corn to a chicken, the yolk in the egg will be darker. Well, I fed the corn because it heats the chicken up, keeps them warm during the night. So that kept going back and going down. All of a sudden, I got rid of them. They stopped laying. I got rid of that, which was another good thing my wife was happy about. So all the time I'm keeping her happy, but I'm losing all my other potential. So then a guy come down, a friend of mine from Vermont. He came down, he said, well, he says, I got some ducks. He says, I could bring them down, you know, until he gets a little older. He said, I haven't got any place for them. He said, so I said, sure, I got backyard fenced in, you know. Yeah, throw them out there, Doug. I said, they'll be all right, you know. Possibly. Well, he was going to come down in 2 weeks to pick them up. Well, it went 2 months. Finally, I called him. I said, when are they coming after them damn ducks? He goes, oh, yeah. He says, I'll be down pretty soon. I said, well, you better make it back pretty soon. I said, because they've eaten all the grass in my backyard already. So I had to plow the grass and reseed the backyard. Of course, my wife wasn't happy about that either. So
Your
you see,
neighbors happy with all
you
of
just
them?
got...
Did anybody else in that area have that many animals in Santuit at that time?
Oh, yeah. That you give it had 4 pigs right next door, practically. Yeah, then there was horses on the other side. Of course, there's horses across the street today, but there was horses 2 houses up from me, across from the post office.
Okay, yeah.
And Thatcher, you know Thatcher, yeah. It's up there. Yeah, it was a rural part up there, you know, everybody. I built everything without permits and everything else, and nobody made any trouble, you know. everybody was friendly. But all the old folks are gone now. I don't dare do anything anymore. What I done, I've been in jail for. What?
Yeah, and you used to walk right across the street to get your mail at the post office. Do you
Yeah.
miss that?
Oh yeah.
Do you miss having
Yeah,
to do
that was quite a thing. I
Um,
don't miss Agnes, but I miss the post office.
You don't miss Agnes?
Oh, she was ugly. Johnny Young chased her right into the post office one night.
Now, who was Johnny Young?
He lived over, he was married to, Thelma, tell her, John.
Huh? I don't remember.
Thelma Noons.
Oh, Thelma, yeah.
Yeah, he was married to her.
And how did you chase her into the post office?
Got out of the car, she'd give him hell for something, I don't know, for something he'd done. Didn't do, something like that. Jumped right out of the car, he said, I'll do this and that, you know, he said, you get in there. Don't bother me anymore. So, well, he was ugly. He was ugly, too.
But how long do these chickens live? How long, how
All
long?
depends whether they get sick or not, Doc.
No, but I mean, do they
Yeah.
have a lifespan of 10 years, 15, 20? I know
No,
when
it's hard to
we used
break
to have
it.
chickens down at my house in Katuah, you know, in Putnam Avenue. My father got sick and tired. They died of old age.
Yeah,
You know, they
Yeah.
had a good long life, I thought.
yeah, they do. Some of them, but these hybrid chickens, showbirds, they're under a lot of stress because you're going from show to show and they're not
The hybrid,
on the
yeah,
schedule or anything like that. But you take something like he says on the schedule where you feed them certain. But when I'm home, I'm on schedule. But no, these bantams, they'll go about 10 years, 8, 10
You
years.
say that's
Yeah.
about what it should be.
But if they get sick, some woman called me up. She said, Walter, she said, I got a sick hen. She says, what shall I do with it? Have you got any medicine? I said, oh yeah. I said, I got plenty of medicine. She said, what do you do with them? I said, it's a sick chicken to me, it's a dead one. I said, take him to Dr. Hatchet.
Dr. Hatchet. Okay.
Sure. That was it.
Is that how you euthanize them? You just cut off their heads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the raccoons don't get.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you have any? Have you seen any coyotes up at Santuit Way?
Well, the people next door to me, Lee Rogers, and I'm like, what the hell's his name? Works for the post office.
Oh,
Lee Perry.
Perry. Yeah, yeah.
He said he saw one there last summer, but I haven't seen it. I don't think there's any in my yard, because I got fenced in, you know. But I got raccoons up the kazoo there.
Would they
So
climb
we all-
over the fence?
Oh yeah, they crawl over, under, anyway, or unlock them. They're the smartest things you ever saw. I had him come off with 11 chickens, and the chickens got up about this high. It was in a run outdoors. Well, one night, I forgot to shut them up. And you know, them raccoons are smart. One raccoon gets down one end of the gate, the other one gets up the other end. They scare the hens or the whatever back and forth, and they reach in and grab them. Pull them right out to the water. Yeah, oh yeah, they're ugly little devils.
but do you remember Fred Gordon? Used to live in Ropes's, the little
Yeah,
cottage in the back. I mean, he used to have chickens when we were growing up.
Yeah.
God, he'd give them a thing up there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then have a drop with all the blood used to run down. It was terrible. I
Yeah.
can't kill anything like that anyhow. It was, he used to do that for a living.
Now this Dr. Hatchett's only a second.
Yeah, I know. My father used to wring its neck.
Yeah, Jimmy Cadena used to be able to break.
Used to flop it around.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated all that. There was no. But
Hey
that
George,
was a
you'd have been
food
a
for
good
our
butcher
table.
today.
It was food for our tables is what it was.
Yeah.
It was food for the table. I mean, we didn't have that kind of money that we could go out and.
Yeah.
We had to preserve all that stuff.
But these bantams now, he dressed off, they only weigh a pound apiece. And that's if you leave the inside there. Which you don't, you know. But I mean, I never eat one. I had one. I had some Cornish.
Oh, Cornish rock hen?
Cornish rock hen.
Yeah, the little ones.
And I had a rooster. Well, he had a heart attack.
The rooster
Died,
did?
Yeah. So I killed him off and I dressed him off. And you talk about eating rubber. That's about what it was. They've been on the ground, it goes all muscle. You couldn't even make soup out of the sucker. He was some tough. You talk about gum, boy, you could have used that for a while.
I guess you didn't know enough about bear aspirin, then you could have given him bear aspirin and saved his life.
No, he was too far
Oh, you mean
gone
during
by
his
that
heart
time.
attack?
I tried mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
How tall are the bantams?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're about half as big as ordinary hen. Some of them are little fellas. It all depends on the breed. Now, the Old English, they'll never go over a pound apiece. And they're small. Some of them are small. But they're ugly. I mean, they're regular fighting, from the fighting cock strain. But now there's 29 different colors, brands, in just the Old English games. And then you go into these other ones, Leghorn, Cochins and all that, and you still get all the colors, different colors. So there's at least 6 to 8 different strains, colors in each brand of chicken. And that's why when you go to a big show, you see them white-crested pollers, there'd probably be 60 or 70 to be judged in one row,
And we won't see something like that at the Barnstable County Fair, or would we? Just
Well,
not the best specimens.
Not as good as that. They got something there, but nowhere near as good as those. Because I don't show there anymore.
You don't.
You ever seen a cockfight?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I almost did. I was down in Bermuda, and I tried to get one of the taxi drivers to take me over there, but he thought I was a FBI guy or something. I guess he didn't dare to take a chance. No, I never.
It's against the law in this country, is it?
Oh, yeah. Huh. But when I was in the service, there was a guy in the service with me. And every time we got a break in a walk, his sister sent him a book of these cockbirds, fighters. And he ran all over the place looking for me. Hey, Cobb, I got another book for my sister. And we sit down, and he told me all about it, He said, well, this one, I said, what about this one? Well, this one isn't good. He goes his head too low. He said, the one will get on top and pick it. I said, what about this? His head's too high. He said, you run underneath him. He said, tip him over. So, I mean, it's different ways and everything. You don't know. And just like showing birds, there's so many ways that you can manipulate them. It's out of this world.
Are you one of the only persons on the Cape that you know of that raises the bantams?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine, I take that back, he doesn't raise breeds, he's got over in Massey Mills, and he used to show with me for a while, and he got sick of it, he went into pigeons, but he's got, probably 4 or 5 pigeons surrounding that, but as far as showing, I don't know of anybody else on the Cape that shows. There's a bantams. Now there's a guy down in Brewster that shows big birds, with called standards.
And you don't have any hens anymore. You don't have laying hens.
I got one.
You have one.
Yeah, I bought 3, 2 died, and the one laid. She's been laying for a while. Well, now she's stopped. She's about ready for the doctor hatchet. She don't start laying pretty soon.
Does your neighbors, do you object to having you have?
No, I've got
They're
good
all
neighbors.
pretty good, and you're under the old clause or whatever, say something happened, you quit, could somebody else take over there or not?
I don't know, John.
You've got the grandfather clause.
Yeah, I got the grandfather clause.
If somebody else new started, it probably wouldn't get away with
It
it.
all depends.
I think you can have so many. I think you can't go over a certain amount of chickens, provided you've got enough space for them.
Now,
But
let me tell you something about that. Now, years ago, when I first started in up there, they come around, took the census. Doris West took it,
Doris
Oh.
was, yeah.
And she says, how many chickens you got? Well, right off, I said, I got 24. Because somebody told me if you had over 25, you had to pay a tax. So, I only had 30 or something. anyway, in the post office, that was a big thing, watching people go to the post office all the time. Everybody go over there, you heard all the gossip in the world was over there. Now, I was figuring up the other day, I don't know if anybody, the older people that were there, they're still living. All down my street, the whole, you know, they all
They're still around.
Tell us about some of the characters.
Yeah.
What about Isabel? Medeiros.
Oh, Isabel.
Yeah.
Well, Isabel had the shingles. And then she fell down, broke both wrists. One winter. But she was a nice person. I like her.
Nice lady, yeah.
The old man was good too. Used to reach out with his cane, catch some kids.
Trip the kids with his cane?
No, catch them, yeah.
Oh, catch him.
he was captain. Then Joe,
Bello?
no, across the street from me.
Joe Gracia.
Magasha?
Joe Gracia, yeah.
Gracia, yeah,
Yeah.
Gracia.
He was another one that was a character too.
What did he do?
He worked, he was a...
Wasn't he a carpenter? Oh, caretaker.
He was a caretaker. He worked for P.K. Davis for years. I worked for P.K. Davis for 3 years, driving team.
A team of horses?
Yeah.
And who was E.K. Davis?
To the state over there.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Into
Davis
Oxford.
estate, okay,
It's
on the way
all
into
out, yeah.
Osterville.
It's all houses in there now.
And what did you do? You drove a team of horses, what, to plow the land?
Yeah, it was all farm then, you know. Yeah.
And what was it? What were they farming?
Hay mostly.
Uh-huh.
Hay and feed, you know. Yeah. Then we had to go around, pick up brush around his yard. And, yeah, it's doing all kinds
Who's
of
that?
stuff.
He worked for the fella on Ocean Street there. What was his name? Can't think of it.
Oh, yeah.
He was a good customer. of
Cyril
ours.
Jones.
Huh?
Cyril Jones.
Yeah, Jones, yeah.
That's right.
Cyril, no,
Yeah.
yeah, Jones, yeah.
Cyril Jones, yeah. He was a good old guy.
Yeah, he was a nice
Yeah,
fellow.
he wouldn't go out with a woman over. He was 60-something years old. He wouldn't go out with a woman over 30 years old.
I have a question. I have friends who live in the Medeiros' house. Is it possible that it was the Sears house, like from a catalog? They ordered it and brought all the wood, you know, like a Sears catalog, they...
Sharp.
Medeiros' house,
Main Street?
on Main Street.
No, he built that himself.
Oh, he
Manuel
did?
Medeiros.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, he was a carpenter.
Oh, all right, because they seemed, if they found something on some of the wood or something that led them to believe it was a house that
From a
was
kit.
prefab out of a kit from the Sears catalog store, but you're saying, no, he built it himself. Okay.
Well, he might have used a packing crate for some of the boarding.
I'll tell them that, okay, all right.
He used the board from the packing
Oh,
crate.
okay.
Father was.
That was my wife's uncle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can remember when they used to hire the gang to shovel the road and the sidewalk by hand.
The whole road?
The
By
whole road.
hand?
Yeah, because we had before the snow. One year.
So what, a whole band of boys?
Yeah,
were
guys.
the young
Anybody
guys?
wasn't working.
And who would hire them? The town? or
Town, yeah. John Halfacre, what that was.
John Halfacre?
John Halfacre, he was running it. You know, Charlie, what that?
You'll have to raise the volume.
Hey, what?
Who's John Halfacre?
John Enos. He was in the landscape business.
Oh, John Frazier.
John Frazier.
Frazier.
John Fraser.
John Enos Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Frazier. He was, you know, getting everybody right down, hiring everybody for the town. I remember we cleaned out School Street. We had to shovel the whole street.
Shovel School Street.
Because, of course, it wasn't the whole road, it's where it drifted up, you know.
Oh, I see.
Actually, it was 24-foot high drifts up in the airplane field, up airport. And,
Joan Bennett Smith used to take my brother and I in a horse and buggy up Putnam Avenue. We had so much snow in those days. When we were kids,
yeah.
she used to have she had horses and she had a sleigh. Right up Putnam Avenue, we used to go horse and sleigh. She was so good. And her folk was so good to us.
Yeah, that was the day. You used to have sleigh rides. Oh my God, I would
Sliding in
forgot.
the woods.
When I was a kid, I was.
Oh,
I don't know, 17.
I'm
I guess.
glad I
And
was
this
born
guy
at that time.
was giving sleigh rides, you know, he had horses, he had a whole bunch of them, you know. So he asked me one day if I'd drive one of his, you know, at night. Because I was considered a pretty good teamster even when I was a kid. So I said, yeah, okay. So I was in New Bedford, back road in New Bedford. So we used to take them out about 3 miles to a bar, and they'd go in and get drunk, and we'd bring them back home again. This night we went on there, and they had electric car track, you know. Well, we got about halfway out there. Slipped into one of the tracks that they had. Sleigh went right over.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Everybody jumped out. Nobody got hurt, but everybody jumped out. Then they said, what are you going to do? I said, well, you guys got to help me put this thing back on the wheels again. So they all got a hold of it. Back on it again. I'm telling you, I've had more experiences. Just when I was out in Quonset Hunt Club, I rode Hondas them days. Not in them days, I mean, as I got older after the war. I went out there and they taught me to jump and everything, you know. And then they taught me to, what they call whipping the hounds. That's to keep the hounds up with the master, you know. So that was all right. So, go out there this one day, whole bunch of people, you know, they're all behind me, naturally. Come down to these fences, they're 4 or 5 foot fences, you know. I go over, I had a pretty good heart. Went over a couple of them. The third one, it was broken down a little bit, you know, so I said, I ain't gonna have to go in there that fast. So I just, you know, hooked him up a little bit. He come down there, boy, when he did, he come there. He stopped, but I didn't. I went right over that sucker, boy. And when I come to, everybody was standing around me. Nobody was calling 911. Just wanted to see if I was still coming to. So anyway, I broke a finger. That's the only thing I have. I broke a finger. And it was the same way with that guy that broke his neck there.
Christopher Reed.
Christopher Reed, yeah.
Did you ever do any horseback riding around Katuitt at all?
I worked for Green Doom Stables in Hyansport.
Oh, okay.
Used to ride up and down the
Used to ride down my way,
Huh?
Putnam Avenue, used to, didn't you ride up in the back roads?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to walk over all of Cranberry Law on that area, and back on Putnam Avenue, yeah.
So you would keep a horse at your house?
No,
You didn't. Where would you keep
I
the
never
horse?
owned a horse.
Oh, you never did?
No, anytime I rode a horse, they paid me for
Oh.
it. Now my daughter's got 3 of them.
Mrs. Bell used to have the horses.
Yeah. No, we used to go up to Craigville Beach, ride up and down Craigville Beach
Uh-huh.
They ever do any fox hunting around here?
in New Bedford, in Westport.
But not around.
No, it wasn't.
Over in Grand Island, they used to have what they called a drag hunt.
Yeah, well, that's when they take smell of fox, a fox smell, you know, and they put it in a bag and they drag it, you know, before the hunt. And then the dogs think it's a fox, you know, and that's what they call drag hunt.
Oh.
And then they go about a mile or so, you know, then they pick the bag up, and they'd go ahead about a ways, you know, quite a ways, and then they drop it down, go again. Well, when we come to the end of that, naturally the dogs stop, and everybody would sit around, step around, you know, talk and everything. Damn horse almost jumped out from underneath me one day. I'm sitting there, and all foot up there, and all big as Billy began. I am grabbing everything I can get a hold of. Yeah, that was good. But then I went down to Maryland, down to Green Springs, I think it was the name of the place. Green Springs in Maryland. And I was with another outfit with horses. So he said to me, the guy that mats the hounds, says, anybody here whipping any hounds? That's what they call it. Me, foolish me, you know, I said, yeah, I did. Oh, it's going to be a big shot. So I said, okay. He said, I'll give you a horse. He said, you can. So I got out there, put on the jacket, you know, all damn thing. Got on this damn horse. They started out. Well, me and them hounds took off, boy, and so the horse. I took him up about 8 jumps later. soon as he could see us jump, he had to go till he got over it. I was way over here, they were way over there. He said, what happened? No emergency brake on that damn thing.
Does anyone have any
Yeah, any
specific-
questions?
Any specific questions for Walter?
Where did you learn, or how did you go learn how to handle horses and do all of
Well,
that?
that's because my old man told me, you do that or that, that's it. My father used to buy, he was a trader, he used to trade horses, buy horses. I come home from school, have 3 horses in the barn. Come home 2 days later, have 3 cows in there, no horses. You know, and I mean, same way with chickens. You used to, them days, you used to do a lot of trading. And somebody would trade a pair of chickens for another pair of chickens. Give yourself a half a dollar. Well, you made money. And that's how I started out with that, was with chickens. And then I found out the right way of doing it, you know, when I got joined the Bantam Club. And, but I'm getting too old for that now. I mean, you gotta walk around all day. They don't have any place for you to sit down and, you know, I mean, when you,
And are your chickens or your bantams suffering with this cold weather? No, you
No.
haven't. They
no, I
probably,
got a good chicken. Oh,
you got a nice chicken house
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
And how do you heat the chicken house?
no, they have heat. Chickens have heat.
They have their own
They
heat.
produce heat, yeah. Now, like the other morning, it was 5 above outside. It was 15 in my chicken house.
Wow.
Of course, it still make ice in there, you know. I have to bang ice every morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if they're out of the wind and cold, you know, I mean, they can stand a lot of cold. I've never lost a chicken cold.
Mm.
And now it's more than enough. I got a good chicken house. And the reason I got that is because the other chicken was way down back, and I'm getting too old to walk that far every morning. So I said, well, you better build a chicken house up this way somewhere, so I could do more for her, you know.
I remember my father, you all remember Virginia Parks, you know, friends. Well, my father had to build a house for her rabbits.
Oh yeah.
And it had screens for the summer and storm windows. You had to have it, you know, warm enough for them and things.
Well, sometimes we treat our animals with a little bit more respect than we do our humans, right?
Don't tell that to my wife.
Oh, okay.
She's already told me that.
Well, I appreciate you coming
Well, I'm glad you
and enlightening us on bantams and your ways.
I hope you learned something.
Yeah, I did, for sure. Thank you. And now I'll just hand the rest of the meeting over to Michael Hughes.
Well, we can have some refreshments. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I just have the floor a minute?
Certainly.
I brought this in for you people to see. This is a Toad skiff. And this is something new that's going to be in the gift shop. I've already sold 2 of them. This is my sample.
Did you make that?
No, I had somebody do it. I gave him the prints, and he did it to scale. And and I don't know what opinion is of the group here, but they sell for $350. And
Cash.
cash or check, no American Express or anything. And it's the complete works. And they can be made in any color that anybody desires. And the only thing I have a little reservation, I'd like to have maybe I'm selfish or maybe I'm snobbish, I don't know. I'd like to have it a limited edition. I'd like to have either a dozen or no more than 2 dozen. I'd like to have it a dozen or 18. So that every house in Katuitt wouldn't have one, you know. I mean, I think this ought to be an exclusive thing. I don't know. You have to discuss it further. I don't know.
I think if you do that, then you have to raise the price,
You think so?
because it's a steal for that price. So if you're only making that a limited edition,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money,
Yeah,
I know, for
that's
most
fine.
people,
Yeah.
but the people you're selling them to I know,
I know the value there.
Yeah,
I know the
yeah.
value's there. We're getting a good price on it, so, you know. So, I don't know, it's just something for the, you know,
'cause it's a
we can discuss it
it's a
later.
beautiful piece, yeah.
It is.
But, it is, I think it really does a good job.
Will the sail turn green with the
Yeah,
time?
it does, yes.
That'd be nice.
And a lot of people don't, that looked at it said, well, I would never put that outside. You know, but
Too nice.
that's what it's for, but some people just keep it inside, you know, and hey, enjoy it, you know. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, George.